Hi everyone. I was trying to look where Tim was going to appear. So first thing, as Paris said, I'm Enrique Penichet. I'm a founding partner of Draper V1. Draper V1 is a venture capital fund located in Spain, but we are part of a bigger network, Draper Venture Network, of 20 funds around the globe, where the alma mater is Tim Draper from Draper Associates. And so we invest mostly, as he said, in software, but from the point of view of Draper Associates, they are even able to invest also in some hardware and so on. So here we have Tim. Tim is being early investor and is an institution in Silicon Valley. He's been early investor in Hotmail, in Skype, then in Tesla when no one was thinking on electric cars, then in Coinbase, Robinhood, Twitch, and a big amount of unicorns. So Tim, welcome here. Can you, more than introducing yourself, that I think is, as we have a small time, introduce more about the Draper universe?
Terrific. Well, great to see you, Enrique. I'm sorry I'm not there in Spain. I could practice my Spanish. Necesito practicar mi español. But I think it's great that we're talking here at the South Conference. This is an amazing opportunity, and I think that that the topic here is really more about, a little less about the Draper Venture Network, which we are making it very easy for people who are entrepreneurs, wherever they may be, to invest anywhere. But more about Bitcoin and the blockchain and smart contracts and all these new technologies that are happening.
Yeah, Tim, in fact, the title today is From ICOs to SPACs. I remember the fever of the ICOs in 2017. I don't know how is it now, what the last of those ICOs, and what is the difference with today? There is ICOs, and what's the difference from today from what it was in 2017?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. We invested in the first two ICOs. We invested in Tezos and Bancor, and both of those have been very successful. And then we invested in the first venture capital SPAC, and that was not successful. So we missed the SPACs here, but that is starting to happen. We're excited about what that's done to allow entrepreneurs to go public without having to go through all the barriers that happen when they're working with their accountants and lawyers. But it's an exciting time because we've got a great marketplace, a lot of great things happening. And it's also a great time for entrepreneurs because they know that there's an opportunity for liquidity, but there's also an opportunity to build value no matter where they are. So wherever they are, whether they're in Myanmar or Nairobi or Kenya, wherever whether they have a good government or a bad government, they can build value in Bitcoin because they know that Bitcoin is not subject to political whims. We know there are only 21 million of them. The politicians can't print more of them, and so if you build value in Bitcoin, you can keep it.
Mm-hmm. So do you think that ICOs, SPACs, and so on, they are disrupting the way of investing and the way of venture capitalists in the future? Because we see that disruption, like doing that fundraising in ICOs and now going public through SPACs. So how does impact in the investor ecosystem?
So yes, I think that venture capital is going through a major transformation, much the way the internet transformed communications and information and gaming and entertainment and media. Bitcoin, the blockchain, smart contracts are transforming the biggest industries in the world: banking, finance, our industry, government, insurance. All those industries are going through major transformations. And venture capital is going through also a major transformation, because I actually anticipate a world where I can raise money in Bitcoin, invest the money in Bitcoin into a bunch of startups, have all those startups pay their employees and suppliers in Bitcoin, and then have the whole system built on a smart contract, a complete closed loop where we wouldn't need the auditor, the accountant, the bookkeeper, the lawyer, any of those people, because the system will be all built into software. So I'm excited about that time where we can have sort of a complete closed loop, where our limited partners know exactly what they're getting. We know exactly what our entrepreneurs are spending and how they're spending it. And we think that this is the beginning of a whole new world. And I do think that I haven't quite figured out how DAOs are going to work into venture capital, but I think there's an opportunity there. And maybe Enrique, you and I can brainstorm on that.
On that. Yeah, and as you said, it's a bigger revolution with the Bitcoin and going on, and how decentralized this the money, and the central banks are not so happy with that. But we already saw that El Salvador incorporated Bitcoin as a regular currency, and I saw you in Latin America. Trying to encourage some other presidents to do so. So how can you envision this future of the Bitcoin in that sense?
Yeah, I think it's an interesting time. Governments are having trouble getting their hands around this, because if you are a central bank and you're issuing a government currency, you know that that's not long for this world. Eventually, people are going to all be using Bitcoin and maybe other cryptos, but certainly not government currencies. And so, if you're a central bank, you either run in fear and you try to block this, or you embrace this new technology and this new way of life and this new creator of wealth. And your country will thrive. And I think we're about to go through a major shift where the countries that embrace Bitcoin and embrace crypto and embrace these new technologies and embrace all the innovation that's coming around them, the NFTs, the DeFi, those countries are going to thrive. And the countries that are afraid and creating barriers to these technologies are going to fail over time. And we are much more mobile as people. We can go from country to country. And so governments are in competition for us. Eventually, those governments have to provide services that we want. And those services include the ability to use Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. And El Salvador's recognized that. Japan made Bitcoin a national currency. Ukraine just made Bitcoin a national currency. Panama making Bitcoin a national currency. This is the beginning of a steamroller. And I think countries like China, who are trying to limit their people's use of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, are going to suffer for it. And you're already seeing China's economy, because it's so controlled now, you're seeing their economy start to falter, and you're seeing them maybe not being able to pay their debt. And I think that the countries that are free and open and trustworthy and trusting are the countries that are going to thrive. You know, trust is so important. Singapore was one of the poorest countries in the world, and Lee Kuan Yew started to just build trust into their systems. And over the course of 70 years, they went from the poorest country in the world to one of the richest per capita. And freedom is super important, because there's a perfect example of freedom where Korea was broken into two pieces after the war, and it was divided by the demilitarized zone. And North Korea was government-controlled Marxist socialist philosophy where government decides what everyone has to do and government redistributes all of the whatever is created. And South Korea was a free market, open, transparent government that was a democracy and capitalistic. And now we're 70 years into it, and the average South Korean now makes 340 times what the average North Korean makes. And the average South Korean is now 4 inches taller than the average North Korean. So freedom and trust make a big difference in the world. And what is Bitcoin but it is freedom and trust?
Yeah, you have touched this issue about like governments now have to attract us. The COVID has made people to work more and more on remote. And so how this is impacting also with the creator economy that you have to deal.
We're going to cut right now to reconnect.
I think we already.
With California to see if we can fix the connection.
Okay.
So you guys are based all over Spain, right, with this fund?
Yeah, we are based all over Spain. We do most of our investments in Barcelona, Madrid, and Valencia, but we also have investments in Galicia, Asturias, or South Spain. We already recovered, Tim.
We're back?
Yeah,
all right,
we are
good.
back.
Excellent.
So, Tim, no, talking about that is like we have more people working on remote, and cryptocurrencies can help. And also we have also this creator economy revolution. So I guess cryptocurrency might be a key player in order to pay and have these remote teams and remote creators and see all this new world that is a world not made of countries, but of cities, right?
Yeah, I think that's right. I think eventually we're going to have a time when people look at those buildings that separate countries from each other, and they're going to look and say, what were these buildings? And I'll explain it to my grandchildren that was something called a customs office that kept people from moving from one country to another. And I would think that my grandchildren would look at me and say, well, that was stupid. Why would you limit people from moving freely around the world? And I think that's really what's happening now, is that first of all, we have this economy that allows us to create and build and imagine a world from wherever we are that can be better and better and better. We can innovate and invent from wherever we are. And with Bitcoin, we can create value wherever we are. You know, my friend Sebastian Serrano from Argentina said that his family had created a fortune 3 times. And during those 3 times, each time the government manipulated the currency and they lost their fortune all 3 times. And now with Bitcoin, he can build value and he can store that value in Bitcoin, knowing the government can't take it away. So I think we're about to go through a major breakthrough here. I can create an NFT that you might like. You can buy it with some form of crypto. I can borrow from you. I can lend to you in Bitcoin or in other crypto. So many things can now happen. This whole world economy is opening up in a whole new way. And the current forms of government are going to have to become effective and efficient, just the way good businesses are, in providing governance as a service. And I think that that's a great opportunity for governments to improve themselves so that they attract the entrepreneurs, the money, the businesses of the world, people of the world to their geographic territory. And we will feel as though the city governments, I believe, we will feel like the city governments will be more relevant to us than the national or state governments.
Tim,
But the national and state governments might end up being virtual. We might end up having, I mean, what is government but a lot of insurance? Well, if I can create an insurance company 11 miles offshore or up in space with just Bitcoin, smart contracts, and some surveillance, I can provide better insurance to you than you're getting with your current provider of healthcare insurance, workers' comp insurance, welfare insurance, pension insurance.
Tim,
That product can be much, much better because it's completely virtual.
Tim, one
the
second.
world is going through a major change. We're going through an anthropological leap, and it's an exciting time. And if you're an entrepreneur, it's so exciting to drive progress and change during a time like this, where there is plenty of money around the world for entrepreneurs to get their business going.
Yeah.
There's plenty of money around the world to grow those businesses.
Yeah, Tim, we are running out of time, so just few seconds. The room is plenty of entrepreneurs. So which is your last advice?
Oh, my best advice to entrepreneurs is get free customers and delight them so much that they become your sales force. So keep that in mind so that if your customers become your sales force, you will become a major success because your product or service can spread around the world faster than ever before. And the world has more consumers than ever before. And most of the world now has smartphones. So if you can provide some service that they can access through a smartphone, that's a major opportunity. And if you're in the healthcare world, major changes are happening there. Diagnostics, therapeutics, they're all going digital. In fact, we have a company that called Cloudmetics that allows you to do a better job of doing diagnostics on yourself only through all the data around you. So the world's going through major changes, and as entrepreneurs, you have the opportunity to drive those changes. So go out there and do it. Whether you fail or succeed, you will have moved progress forward, so just go do it.
Thank you so much, Tim.
My pleasure.